So, prospecting with power. With the Kaizen 360 team, you can see I put a magnet here, and it's attracting. So, what is just talk a little bit about this, about how we can prospect with power, how we can be like this magnet and bring the people into our business, attract the people so that they want to participate with us and take advantage of the great opportunity that we have. So, number one, or the first thing, is that we have to remember we need to be in control. To me, the most important thing in prospecting is maintaining the energy in that conversation, right? I want the prospect to know that I am in control and that I'm going to build this with or without them, okay? I am not trying to get their approval, and I don't need them in my business if they're not the right kind of person, right? We have to maintain that posture. We have to show them that we're not begging, right? We're not trying to convince them to join us at all, right? We have the cookie. That's what I like to say. We have the cookie. We have the good stuff, okay? We're the ones with the amazing offering, and they're the ones missing out if they don't want to listen, okay? So, there's a defining point in the conversation that defines the balance of power. This happens when either the prospect or you make a power move. Typically, it is when the prospect backs away, and the majority of networkers fall for this and then start the journey of losing power instead of maintaining it. All right, so you got to be careful. You got to be careful. So we're going to go through some examples here to kind of explain, what I'm talking about. All right. So example number one, let's say the prospect says, I don't think I can do this kind of business. Okay. So the novice networker is probably going to react with, well, why not? You know a ton of people. You'd be great at this. Okay. What just happened there? What just happened is this increases the prospect's resistance, and you have lost your power. Okay. Because now all of a sudden you kind of went to a lower level there, and you started kind of in a way, not whiny, but but you started begging. You started trying to convince, right? You said, well, why not? Right? You know a ton of people. You'd be great. You're trying to convince them, trying to show them, that, oh no, you're wrong, right? Careful. All right. Example number two, prospect. Oh, I think I need to think about it. I need some time, right? So the novice might say, well, what's to think about? We're going to be rich. It is wonderful, right? So again, trying to convince, right? Trying to, to sell it, right? And people do not want to be sold. People don't want to be sold, right? They don't want to be convinced. So that does not work, right? You give up power when you try and do that. Example number three, I need to learn more about it. And the novice might say, well, what else is there to learn? Come on, I just gave you the presentation. It's amazing. So in all these examples, you're losing the power in the conversation, right? Because now you're trying to convince them. Example number four, I need to ask my spouse. And the novice might say, oh, you know that they'll say no. You should do it right now before you get cold feet. So same thing, right? You're trying to convince. In fact, you're even almost in a way kind of disrespecting, right? Because now they're thinking, oh, you want me to be dishonest with my spouse or whatever, right? No, you don't want to do that at all. Okay, so the key is having power and posture, right? You always need to maintain that power. So this is where you use your posture to give your prospect a kind of a different and qualified perspective, right? You don't want to be rude. You just want to maintain the power. So let's look at some of these examples, but with power and posture answers, all right? So example number one, I don't think I can do this kind of business. So the expert would say, you know what? You're probably right. But do you know anyone that has been affected by the financial situation that could use some extra money? You see how you maintain power there? You're not convincing anybody, right? You're agreeing with them. Oh yeah, you know what? You're probably right. And then you're asking that question, what's the prospect going to do? The prospect's going to kind of like be taken back, right? Like, wait, what? And they're going to think about that, and they're going to wait to say, oh, I actually could use some extra money, right? That's what's going to go through their head. Like, oh, right. And so what happens here is now you're not convincing them, right? You're showing that you have the cookie, you have the good thing, you have the way to make some extra money, right? And they're going to go. There's going to be a fear of loss situation where all of a sudden they're going to feel like, oh, if I don't do this, I'm going to, I'm going to lose out. I'm going to lose out on a way to make some extra money. Oh, wow. Right. So now you've maintained the power. You've put them kind of in that lower footing, right? Now they're the ones still going, oh, okay, what they're talking about, I want it, right? So it's really effective. Okay, let's look at example number 2 with posture. So if the prospect says, I need to think about it, well, the expert would say, okay, great, take your time, let me know. I'm so busy training and working with my team that I can only work with people that are absolutely sure they want to do this right now, right? Ooh, what does that do? Right? Instead of convincing them, instead of trying to convince them to do it or to not take too much time or whatever, what you're doing is you're maintaining the posture. You're maintaining the confidence. You're maintaining that you've got the cookie. You've got the good stuff here, right? And oh yeah, go ahead, take your time, right? And I'm busy doing this. I'm working with other people. We're getting people trained. They're making money and all that, right? Now they're going to be like, right? Do I really need so much time to think about it? Right? And it's making them again have that fear of loss, like they're going to be left behind. They're going to be left behind if they don't do it, right? So yeah, we just got to maintain that posture. Number 3 with posture, I need to study it out more. Expert would say, great. We have a bunch of videos online. I suggest you watch them all before deciding so you can be sure this is the right thing for you. We do so much training that we need to be sure that this type of thing is a good fit for you before we start, right? And so, what's that going to do? Then you're maintaining the posture. You're maintaining that you have the good stuff here, right? You're maintaining that, yeah, we got videos, we've got all these people getting trained and doing it, right? So great, go ahead, go watch those videos, go study up on it. We'll still be here, right? When you're ready, we'll still be here. We're not trying to convince you at all. We don't need you, right? We've got the good stuff here. If you want it, you know where to find us, right? So if you maintain that, then they're always going to be the ones that are, oh yeah, okay, I do want this. Example number 4. I need to ask my spouse. The expert would say, perfect. It's a great idea. Before I spend a lot of time training you, I want to make sure that this is a good option for you and your family, right? Awesome. So now you're showing respect. You're showing that, yeah, that, the spouse's opinion counts too, right? And let's make sure they're on board. And, because we are so convinced that what we have is good and will work and will be a good fit for them, right? That we're fine with that. Go tell them, go talk to them, tell them all about it. We're not nervous about it. We're not trying to, pull any fast ones, right? We're not trying to, to kind of, like they used to do, get you to come to a meeting or whatever, and then throw it out at you. Oh, by the way, it's only $5,000 to do that, right? No, we're not doing that. Right, we're completely open and transparent, and hey, let's definitely get the spouse on board because we're sure that they're going to love it too, right? And it works, right? Because now there's like, oh, there's no dishonesty going on here. They're not trying to hide anything. They're not trying to, just get us in with that. No, it's absolutely. Let's talk to the spouse too. Let's show them how cool this is, and then maybe they could be your first prospect, right? And and work together to make this happen. So yeah, definitely, just do that. Maintain that posture. We have the good stuff. So does it work, right? That's the question. Maybe you're thinking, but these answers won't convince them to join in the moment, right? And that is correct. Okay, so what happens is anybody that's been involved with sales before, what happens is you're trained to not lose the sale, right? So if you've ever done that, because a customers just come along once and then they're gone, right? You never see them again. And so your job as a salesman is to sell in the moment, right? Because, if they say no or you don't convince them and they're gone, they want to think about it, then, they get cold feet and they're gone. It's done, right? You lost the sale. It's never going to happen. Okay. But with network marketing, that's not how it works, right? In network marketing, we're not about the sale, right? We're not trying to sell anybody on anything. We're not trying to get them to decide right now, because if not, then they're gone, right? No. What we're trying to do is we're trying to create a lasting relationship built on honesty and integrity, and concern, for others and everything. We're really trying to help people. And so, it's okay if they don't join in that moment. It's okay if they need some time. It's okay if they want to go and think about it or whatever, right? And we're just going to show them that, hey, you know what? We're here for them. It's all good, because we don't want to pressure people into enrolling just to have them quit the next day. That's worse. That's counterproductive, right? It does no good to have them enroll now and then have them get in trouble with their spouse or have them to go study it and think about it, right? And then they're like, oh no, I made a mistake, and then they go ask for the refund. No, we don't want that. We want them to actually realize that this is a good decision for them and make that decision themselves, right? So, because in conclusion, despite what you may be thinking, these tactics will work so that about 70% of the indecisive people will change their minds and enroll. And when they do it, it will be because they decided to, not being forced. And that is what is more likely, and why that is why it is more likely that they will stay and work it, right? Because they made the decision. They realized that, yes, we have the good stuff. We have the cookie. This is where they can come in and make some money and change their lives. So just remember that. Remember that you've got it. You've got the good stuff here, right? You don't have to convince anybody, okay? Just lead by example. Show them that what we've got is awesome, that it's worth it, that it's fun, it has good results, and it can change their life. And there's no need to do anything shady. There's no need to convince. There's no need to sell it, right? It will sell itself. And you just need to be convinced of that. You just need to have that attitude and approach it with that attitude. If you do, you'll find that most of the people that you talk to will want to come in and join you in your business because they'll see the value. So with that, thank you for your time. Thanks so much for joining us today. I'll let you get back to your weekend, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.